I'm throwing my weight, no pun intended, behind the Scottish yes to independence vote, even though I'm not a citizen of the United Kingdom or Scotland. I I do hope the people of Scotland vote yes to independence in the upcoming referendum. There's a number of reasons for this, and one of the reasons too is that it will also be good for people in England. You see, the British Empire, the United Kingdom, has never served the English, Scots, Welsh, or Irish. It's only served the business classes, and that's why they would call themselves British, but never Scottish or whatever, English or whatever. And if Scotland leaves, well, let's talk about what happened with Ireland first. Ireland's situation was very different. In 1917, there was after the 1916 rebellion in Dublin, the British government promised a Home Rule Bill for Ireland, and in the elections in 1919, I think they were, the Irish people voted overwhelmingly in favour of Sinn Féin, and then it was pulled from them. They said no dice, and so what that led was a direct war between Ireland and Great Britain, the Irish War of Independence, which was declared on in 1919 and lasted until 1922. And there was a civil war, which was basically stoked up by Churchill, who forced Michael Collins to shell central Dublin and turn against us. Or Churchill said he would shell Dublin himself. Bomb Dublin himself with a warship. And so after that was all over, Ireland was free. Now, there was all kinds of Britishers and sort of like what we, Anglophiles in Ireland, particularly up in Northern Ireland, who pointed out that Ireland was in bits economically and socially for much of its independence. Well, the reason why the country started off so badly was it had just come out of a vicious civil war and a war of independence, and the infrastructure was destroyed. So, there had to be ways of building up the railways, fixing the bridges. Everything had been blown to bits, rebuilding the cities. And also there was a social infrastructure needed to be put in. Now, the Catholic Church sneakily came into Ireland and told the government that we will build hospitals, we will build schools, we will build homes, and we will look after those social aspects while the Irish government, works on, building up the rest of the country. And so that's how the Catholic Church got so much control of social services and the sort of like the social infrastructure of Ireland, which became a nightmare, basically, because they ran orphanages and homes and everything. We all know the stories of the Magdalens and the appalling viciousness in Irish schools and stuff like that. But anyway, so those John Britishers will always point this out, but they seem to forget that, like, Ireland under British rule, nearly 2 million people starved during the famine. And they'll conveniently forget that the poverty in Dublin was only matched by the poverty in the East End of London at the height of the British Empire. And I'm sure the poverty in Cardiff and in Tiger Bay and in Gorbals and wherever in Glasgow was the same. Now, so broadly speaking, if Scotland pulls away, it's basically, when you think about it, it's really only England, Northern Ireland, and Wales down. It's the end of the United Kingdom is really beginning to happen. And there's also going to be a vote the following year to whether the UK should exit the European Union, which I would love to see happen. That would be fantastic. And so, well, Scotland would be great if it votes yes to independence. I do hope it does, and I'd throw my support behind that. And I do hope that Scotland does not, go and make the mistake that Ireland does by becoming just basically a vassal state of the European Union and hand away its independence so quickly. I think there's a lot of people in Scotland who are very determined not to make that mistake, and that's really good. So I wish Scotland well in its independence vote. I hope they get the yes vote, and when you do, you'll be fine. You've got plenty of oil. You've got like a wonderful race of people who are very intelligent, and they're very smart and they're very gifted and talented, and why not? And England will then be able to, English people will then begin to assert their identity as English people rather than as as Britishers, you know, and that can only help. That can only help the average English person. So it's yeah, yes to Scottish independence, yes to English independence, yes to Welsh independence, and yes to a united Ireland, even though that's controversial. I think the United Ireland. I've looked. I'm not a nationalist, but I think, in technically speaking, the best solution for this country is a united Ireland. Yes, you know, Northern Ireland is a basket case, and you know, the Republic of Ireland would have to financially deal with that. But you know, I think we would get over that as well. I think the best solution now would be those United Ireland, All Ireland, independent Scotland, independent Wales, independent England, and you know, long live the original countries that were there before the British Great Britain was created. You know, the Act of Union only served the rich mercantile elites and the aristocrats in England for the most part, and certain ones in, you know, the ones who are in certain, shall we say, non-Catholic elites around the country, around the UK, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. From what I gathered, there's an overwhelming yes vote in Scotland, but that means nothing. And I hope the United Kingdom, what's left of it after Scotland gets its independence, will vote to leave the European Union. Interesting times ahead. Yes to Scottish independence.